Welcome to Swirl Culinary. This is Aaron and Miss Thomas, and today we're going to do some science. This will be a fun science video, okay? So we're going to work with something called emulsions today, okay? It's the process that fat in a liquid want to bind together. So we're going to make a real weak emulsion, and then we're going to make a more strong, stable emulsion. So what we're going to do today is we're going to create a vinaigrette, and we're going to create some mayonnaise, okay? So let's just go over ingredients real quick. The vinaigrette is super simple. I have 3/4 of a cup of blended oil, olive, and canola. I like the flavor of the olive oil, but if I put this in the fridge, I don't want the full olive oil to solidify, basically. So I'm going to use a blend mix today, okay? I'm going to use a little bit of white wine vinegar. Remember, you can use any vinegar you want for this. Just remember, it's going to bring a different flavor to the table. If you're doing something more barbecue-oriented, use apple cider. If you're doing something more Italian, maybe a red wine vinegar, okay? But we're just going to use white wine today. I don't recommend the white distilled vinegar for this one. Use the white wine. Okay, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of fresh garlic. Okay, so guys, for a vinaigrette, the ratio is 3:1, okay? So what that means is I have 3/4 of a cup of oil. That means I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of vinegar, okay? So I just wanna add so guys, if you have mason jars at home, awesome, but you know, if you use jars of spaghetti sauce, wash them out and keep them. Like, reuse the stuff. I have a bunch filled with pickles and vinaigrettes and stuff like that, so reuse. Okay, so I'm just gonna put the oil right in there. Okay, so let me measure out 1/4 cup of the vinegar. So what's gonna happen when I add this in? Vinegar and oil do not wanna hang out together. They're gonna immediately separate, so they're not gonna hang out. So watch, I'm gonna put this right in. And you'll start to see the little bubbles form where everything separates, okay? So you guys can sort of see this. See those little bubbles? That's the vinegar floating in the oil. It doesn't want to be part of it. So see the vinegar there at the bottom and the olive oil is rising to the top like that? You see the separation? So what we want to do is we want to make these two hang out together. So let's just flavor it real quick. Okay, a little bit of salt.
That way you can see the bubbles.
A little bit of salt. Probably about a teaspoon each, okay? A little bit of pepper. Remember, you can flavor this any way you want. You can add Parmesan cheese, you can add lemon zest, you can add a little Dijon mustard, whatever you like for this, okay? This is just a real basic vinaigrette. A little bit of fresh garlic, okay? So what we're gonna do to make our emulsion is we're gonna screw the lid on very tightly, and then we just shake, right? And that basically breaks up the oil, and then the vinegar can sneak on in there. So it's sort of, see how it's all come together? It's not separated anymore. So this is an emulsion, but this is a weak emulsion. When I let this sit on the counter, it's gonna re-separate back out. So every time you use an olive oil or a dressing or a vinaigrette, you have to shake it again. And it's fine. Like, that works perfectly. So next, let's get set up for mayonnaise. I'll go over that, and we're gonna make some mayonnaise. We're gonna make something called a strong emulsion. Okay guys, so now we're gonna make our mayonnaise, all right? A couple of ingredients are gonna be the same. We're gonna still use white wine vinegar for this. I'm also gonna use a little bit of the salt, a little bit of the pepper. Okay, the extra ingredients are lemon juice. You can either use fresh squeezed lemon or you can use it right from the bottle, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna use a little bit of Dijon mustard. I'm gonna use 1 whole egg. And then, so I want you guys to see this. So this is 3/4 of a cup of canola oil. I'm using a really neutral oil because I don't want to add a lot of flavor to the mayonnaise. So I have 1/2 cup and I have 1/4 cup divided. So you'll understand why. But so get 2 measuring cups, pour out 1/2 cup, pour out 1/4 cup. Okay. We're ready to make our mayonnaise. We're gonna use technology today. We have it, so we're gonna use it. If you're doing it at home and you do it by hand, it's gonna take a lot of effort. It's gonna take a lot of skill. And it's gonna take a lot of time, so just be forewarned. If you have a food processor or a hand beater, use it, please, okay? So I'm gonna use the tiny KitchenAid today, the tiny Roboco, okay? So I want you guys to see this. So this is the big industrial one, and if you can see how those blades don't hit the bottom all the way,
There you go.
you see how the blades don't hit the bottom? If I put an egg in there, it's gonna go right over the top and it's not gonna blend it up. In this one, you see how the blade actually reaches the bottom of this? So this is actually gonna mix it a little bit better. If you're doing large amounts of mayo, it's absolutely fine to use the big one, but we're just making a small amount today, so we are gonna use the baby one, all right? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna crack our egg right in there. Whole egg, yolk and all. Everything. Okay. I'm I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard right in. Okay, perfect. And then I'm gonna just add a little bit of salt, and that's gonna help mix it up a little bit. The salt acts as an abrasive. Okay, so probably about a teaspoon right in there, okay? All right, so I'm not gonna talk much when this is going. It's a little loud, so I don't think you guys will be able to hear me. So we just wanna get this mixed pretty good.
Oh, you have to plug it in.
Oh, you unplugged it. Stop it. Stop it. We'll go back and edit that out. That's okay. So we got the lid on, and we're just going to give it a quick burr. Just get everything busted up, all right? Not trying to do anything except get this mixed up. Okay. So this is a time-consuming effort, even with the KitchenAid, or with the Roboco. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit, show you, and then we're going to skip ahead. But do not skip this step, all right? I grab my 1/4 cup of oil. This is my 1/4 cup. And what I want to do is so a lot of the Robocos have a hole in the top of this, so you can basically just dribble it in. This does not, so I'm going to have to open it and close it a bunch, okay? So I just want to add a drop at a time. Literally, really not a lot. A drop, okay? Close it, go for about 5 seconds. Get it in there. And I'm just going to keep going, a drop at a time. This is probably going to end up taking you about 5-10 minutes to get all this oil in here, 1 drop at a time, all right? But we do this. This is a very important step, okay? We're building an emulsion. If I add this oil too quickly, it's going to separate out, and it's going to create a soupy mess, and it'll never turn to mayonnaise. So you have to do this part very slowly, okay? So I'm going to do one more, and then we'll cut ahead to when we're ready to finish the mayo. So remember, it's just 1 egg, a little bit of salt, a little bit of Dijon mustard, and I'm slowly adding my 1/4 cup of oil. Literally a drop at a time, okay? Okay, guys, so we'll see you in a minute. Okay, guys, so we're just sort of getting to the end of our 1/4 cup. I still got a few more to go, but I just want to show you guys. So we're just gonna, little drop at a time. You don't want to rush this, or it's not gonna work, all right? You have to do this very slowly. This is what an emulsion is. We got to keep it stable. So you guys can sort of see it, how there's no oil or vinegar separated out. It's all one like homogeneous looking liquid. That's what I want. And if it doesn't look thick right now, that's okay. That's going to happen with the addition of the other 1/2 cup of oil, okay? So a little bit at a time, keep going a little bit at a time. Blend it for 5 seconds. Okay, I got like 3 more to do here. This is probably taking me 10 minutes to do this, okay? So I just want you guys to know, slow and steady wins the race on this one. Okay. A little bit more. Okay. Just dribbles at a time. Get it mixed in. Okay, a little bit more. Just gonna keep mixing until all this 1/2 cup is done, right? So let me add this last little bit. Okay. Give it a minute there, let it go. Let me take the lid off so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay, you see that? How it's a nice, even consistency. That's what I'm looking for. At this point, I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of white wine vinegar. Not a lot. Okay, just about. A little bit of lemon juice, about the same amount of teaspoon. Don't need a lot, just a little bit. And I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper right now. If you guys have white pepper, go for it. It'll keep it a more even color. I got black pepper today, so we're just gonna do that, okay? All right, we're gonna give this a grind. Oh, wrong way. Okay. Okay. So this is our emulsion right now. It is, once I have that 1/4 cup in, it's pretty stable. So with my next 1/2 cup of oil, I can start to add it a little bit faster. Not by much, just a little bit at a time. Same as before. Okay, so this'll take me about half the time. You're just gonna do the same thing, but you can add a decent drizzle, all right? A little bit more. Okay, so let me get this in and then we'll check our mayo. So I just got 1 little portion of oil to add, and then we're gonna see what it looks like, okay? So let me get that last in. So this took me about 3 or 4 minutes to get the rest of that oil in there. So we're gonna give it a good final mix. Okay. So the biggest mistake you can make making mayonnaise is you put the oil in too quickly, and it's gonna break the emulsion, okay? it'll separate out. You'll have a layer of wet on top and you'll have a layer of goop on the bottom, and that's not what we're looking for, okay? Okay, so let me see. Okay, we're gonna put that right there. All right, let's do the spoon test and see where we're at, guys. Okay. And that's mayonnaise. It's nice and thick. See? So you can sort of see how it's nice and uniform like this. I don't see any water on the bottom of it. It's just nice and uniform, okay? So that's our mayo. Guys, homemade mayo is only good for about 2 days. And also remember, we're using raw eggs, so be very careful. Make sure you're using eggs from an approved source that you trust, all right? Okay, so you see that? So guys, the only other thing, if you want to make an aioli, just use olive oil instead of canola oil and just add a little bit of garlic, and that makes an aioli, okay? All right, guys, thank you very much. That's mayo.